Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to talk about my definition of true beauty and how it relates to me and my life and my past and present and future. So for today, I'm going to use my mom as an example of my definition of a true beauty and everything. I just believe she encompasses everything of what a true beautiful person is, from inside her heart, her soul, to outside her beautiful face, her beautiful smile. She's just been my inspiration my whole life up to now. She did pass away in 2007. However, I just keep her close to my heart always, and all the lessons that she's taught me and just every good thing that she's taught me and given me in my life is gonna be with me forever. My mom, from the very beginning when I was born, she had so many struggles and so many obstacles and hindrances and challenges in life. And she pretty much tackled so many of them the best she could. I mean, probably better than I could ever, do if I was in her shoes. So, when you're young and you hear all the stories of what your parents went through, of, all the wonderful stories they tell you of their struggles and everything and how they made it through that, you just can't help but just admire them and admire their courage and their strength and just everything about how they handled the situation is just like you're just in awe sometimes, if your parents were the type of parents that struggled to get to where they are just to better themselves and to better, the future of their family. So if you're from that type of family background and then you can relate with me because that was my background. So basically my mom, pretty much struggled as a single parent until later on we came to the States and she met my stepdad. And, they didn't get married till like 21 years later after they met. But she pretty much struggled, for a long time. And she was self-taught, back in the 60s and 70s. She was self-taught. She worked her way from like folding gauze, like 1,000 pieces of gauze from a supplier, and it would pay like 1 peso for a day. And her and her sister did that. Her older sister, which is my aunt, who is like my mother, and she did that for a while, folding gauze for 1 peso a day in the Philippines. And they would make their 2 pesos together last. They would buy food and bring it home to the family, and they would just survive on that for a long time. So, of course, God's going to step in eventually. In my opinion, God always sees everybody's efforts. So God stepped in and eventually gave them open doors for them and gave them opportunities for advancement in life. They met a really nice husband and wife who helped them, get better jobs, and eventually they landed in a travel agency, which they learned so much. They learned how to like do all kinds of stuff, getting visas and just helping all the transactions until, long story short, they were able to open up their own business from a help from their uncle here in America that worked for Paramount Pictures. So he had enough money saved up and he sent it to them because he wanted to do an investment. And so that's how all that, the ball got rolling, is if you don't lose hope and faith, eventually it's going to pay off. So, after they got their business, unfortunately, it was like 1972, they had a few years that, they were being productive and the company was doing great. Then like martial law happened in the Philippines in the early 70s, and that kind of messed up everything for them as far as their business. And just, among other challenges. But, basically what I'm trying to say is, regardless of the hindrances and the challenges that happen in your life, you can't be scared, to go on to the next thing that God gives you. So the next thing was for them, we ended up here in America, and my mom basically did her best, got a job right away. Okay, so I was around 6.5 years old when I came here to America. And I watched my mom work all kinds of shifts, graveyard shift, swing shift. And I've always wanted her to get a day shift job so she can be with me longer, because I kind of missed out on having her around. When your mom works, like, is going to go to work soon after you go to school, you pretty much miss out on a lot of time with her. But I knew deep down that she had to do what she had to do and just work the shift that she had, which is a blessing. So I totally understood that and accepted that. But she did graveyard and swing shift for like almost 20 years, and that's really hard for a little girl who needed her mom around. But thank God, I had my aunt and my stepdad and my best friends, and that helped me out a lot during those tough times. My mom was a very sickly, kind of sickly person, but she pretty much knew how to take care of herself by eating healthy. And she was such a positive person mentally and very strong-willed. Her mind was so strong, and she was such a disciplined lady as far as work and you know paying bills on time. I mean, I just admire her, for all her good willpower, and just her being an overall responsible person in every way. It was just, she's just an awesome example. When I was growing up, how disciplined she was. And so, in the Philippines, the doctor had given her 10 years to live, but she kind of shrugged that off because she knew deep down inside she had to be strong so she can give me an opportunity.